Hi CAK students, I am Ms. Bennett and I'm going to tell you about your options for next year for the Social Studies Department. Freshmen and sophomores, your option is World History. If you are a sophomore and you have taken Honors World History, you have the option to take AP European History. For you juniors, your option is U.S. History, but you do have three choices here. You could take CP U.S. History, you could take dual enrollment, U.S. History through Bryan College, or you could take Advanced Placement U.S. History. For you seniors, you will take Government and Econ. It's a one-year course, but one semester for Government, the other for Economics. That is also offered as a CP or an AP level. We also have lots of elective options. Like I had mentioned, we offer AP European History. We also offer Psychology and Sociology. That is taught as a one-year course. We will also offer AP Psychology, a criminal law class, and a world geography class. So happy picking.
The World Language Department at CAK, we're all very passionate about you learning to speak another language. We're hoping that you'll take 3 to 4 years of language so that you'll be very prepared when you go to university. If you do well here, you're going to be able to get out of hours at university that you don't have to pay for, don't have to sit through. Many of you will want to take a semester abroad. It's not very hard if you do that to go ahead and get a minor. That looks great on your resume down the road. We know that business has become global. Who doesn't like to travel internationally, meet people from other cultures, be able to interact and understand people who are not just like us? Those are all things that we want for you, but most of those people that we might want to meet, they don't all speak English. God asked us to share the news of who He is with other peoples. Those other peoples aren't going to speak English. Now you may say, well, they may not speak French or Spanish, but if you learn one language well now, you'll be much better prepared to learn whatever other language God might ask you to learn, whether it be for business, for travel, or for the gospel. But while you're here, don't think of getting done with a requirement. Think about, I'm developing a skill I can use the rest of my life. This really is a treasure, and God's going to use it in my life to help spread His kingdom. Thank you, and please consider that when you sign up for classes.
You're required to have 4 years of English to graduate from high school. Freshman and sophomore English at CAK is on 2 levels, CP and Honors. If you're planning on taking dual enrollment or AP as a junior or senior, you need to take Honors in 9th and 10th grade. At the 11th and 12th grades, we offer 3 levels, College Prep, AP, Advanced Placement, and DE, Dual Enrollment. The College Prep and the Dual Enrollment and AP at junior level, all is an intense writing course, so you'll get writing at all 3 levels. The Dual Enrollment is college writing, where the AP writing is language and composition, and so it involves nonfiction reading of literature as well as technical writing. At the 12th grade, you also have 3 levels, College Prep, Advanced Placement, and Dual Enrollment. The College Prep is a British Lit course. That's where you'll study Shakespeare, George Orwell, others. And then in the Advanced Placement course at the 12th grade level, you will do, it's a literature and composition where you do fictional literature and write about it. Now the Dual Enrollment course is World Lit. In order to take that course, you have to have made at least a 3 on the AP exam your junior year, or you would have to successfully complete dual enrollment at the 11th grade. The difference between dual enrollment and advanced placement in the English department is the advanced placement. To get credit at the college level, you have to take the exam and you have to score at a certain level, and different colleges require different scores for credit. Dual enrollment is a college class which will give you college credit, but it depends upon the school that you attend as to how that credit is recorded. You'll have to talk with your school counselors about that.
Hi, my name is Mrs. Novikov. I'm the department chair in the math department here at CAK. The state of Tennessee requires that all high school students take one math class each year in high school. The math department at CAK recommends that students take these classes in a sequence that best supports your success in the PSAT, ACT, and SAT. That is, Algebra 1, Geometry, followed by Algebra 2. All three of these are offered at both a college prep and honors level. To enroll at an honors level, it is recommended that you earn a 90% or higher quarter average in the previous class. Honors Geometry also requires that your 9th grade Algebra 1 test average be 90%. We have one AP offering for sophomores, AP Statistics. We are also offering a CP Statistics class. Once Algebra 1, Geometry, and Algebra 2 are completed, you have some decisions to make. If you are a senior and do not meet the following prerequisites, you can take Algebra 3 Trigonometry. Otherwise, you can take CP Pre-Calculus, Honors Pre-Calculus, or BC Honors Pre-Calculus. CP Pre-Calculus feeds into CP Calculus. Honors Pre-Calculus feeds into CP Calculus or AP Calculus AB. And BC Pre-Calculus feeds into AP Calculus BC. You must have a 90% quarter average to go from CP Algebra 2 into Honors Pre-Calculus. And you must have an 85% quarter average to go from Honors Pre-Calculus to AB Calculus. Successful completion of the AP Calculus AB exam will earn you 3 college credits for calculus, while the successful completion of the AP Calculus BC exam will earn you 6 college credits for both Calculus 1 and Calculus 2. You also get a Calculus 1 subscore. Please understand that you must take BC Pre-Calculus in order to take AP Calculus BC. If you have any questions, please speak to your math teacher or counselor.
Hello, I'm Mrs. Syard, and I'm going to talk to you about the choices that you have for science classes for next year. All students must have 3 lab science classes to graduate from CAK. So we'll start with current freshmen. Your choices for next year are chemistry or honors chemistry. Students who would like to take honors chemistry should have very high math and biology grades. Generally, you should make A's or high B's on your tests. You should enjoy deeper level thinking, higher order type questions, enjoy doing labs. Probably about the top 20 to 30 students in your class may take honors chemistry. For regular chemistry, the prerequisite is 75% in biology and in Algebra 1. If you do not meet that prerequisite, or if you feel like you're just not ready for chemistry, there is a third option, which is to take environmental science and wait another year before taking chemistry. For students who have already had biology and chemistry, you have options as far as what you take next. We'll start out with the chemistry classes. These are all second-year classes. First, we have an Honors Chemistry 2, which is a class that I developed and taught last year, but we didn't have very many students interested this year, so it wasn't offered. However, I would like to offer it next year, and this would be, again, for students who have high B's or A's in your Algebra 2 and in your first year of chemistry. So it is a review of Chem 1, plus it goes deeper, covers new topics. It's a completely different book, taught at a significantly higher level. We also have AP Chemistry, which is a 2-credit course that meets 2 periods, 4 days a week. So we actually start at 7:28 and go for 2 periods. That course is for very strong math and science students. You should pretty much be making A's on all of your Algebra 2 and your chemistry tests. We're looking at pretty much your comprehension of the material rather than your overall grade. So if you have pretty much all A's on your tests in Algebra 2 and in chemistry, and I probably would like to have a conversation with you if you're signing up for AP Chemistry and I do not currently have you in Honors Chemistry. That is our only 2-credit science class, and that course is designed to take the place of a year of college chemistry, depending on how you do on the AP exam. As for biology classes, we have anatomy and physiology, and we have honors anatomy and physiology. Mrs. Traylor is going to teach both levels of anatomy and physiology. The prerequisite for regular honors anatomy and physiology is a middle C in chemistry and in biology. For the honors course, the prerequisite is high B's or A's in Bio 1 and at least a C in chemistry. Now, next year will be a transition year for the honors anatomy and physiology because Mrs. Traylor will not be here first semester. All anatomy and physiology will be taught the same material and will do the same labs. The differences between regular and honors will come in the quiz and test questions, with obviously the honors being a little deeper, and possibly some questions on the lab reports. And then the major difference will be that there will be a project each quarter of the honors anatomy and physiology. This would probably involve a paper and possibly a presentation each quarter. Dr. Moazen's courses will involve physics, dual enrollment physics, and engineering as far as the science classes that he's teaching. I do want to make it clear the engineering class is not considered a lab science. So if you take that, it's an elective and you would still need to take a third lab science. The physics prerequisites are an 80 in chemistry, in Algebra 2, and in geometry. There's a lot of math involved in physics. The dual enrollment physics is a seniors only class because you must be enrolled in calculus and must have an 80 in chemistry and pre-cal. The other science class that I haven't talked about is the environmental science, and we're not exactly sure what that's going to look like for next year. The plan is that Mrs. Traylor will teach it, and it is a lab science. However, the environmental science is not taught at a very high level. So my very strong advice to you is that you always want to take the most challenging classes that you can reasonably handle, unless you are planning to go into an environmental field, or unless you really struggle with science and you just need to get your third science. You probably should not sign up for environmental science. If you just have an interest in it, you could take that and another science class, which is fine. It does count as a lab science, but it's not one of our stronger science courses, and you should try to challenge yourself as much as you reasonably can.
Hi there, I'm Mrs. Fraser, and I'll be teaching AP Biology next year. I have had many years' experience teaching AP Chemistry over at CAK High School, so I'm very familiar with the College Board and some of the requirements that they have for their AP courses. AP Biology gives you an opportunity to get college level, not only hopefully credit if you do well in your exam, but just the experience of preparing for college, taking a college level course is a good thing. If you are a student who's committed to working and staying on top of those assignments and learning the material and working together and the good things that go on in an AP level class. The curriculum is set by the College Board, and I can be glad to share that with you all if you want to, anybody who's interested, or you can pull it up on the website. But there is a requirement for a bit of time to be spent in labs. So one thing that we're considering in the scheduling is to have the 2 0 periods so that we can accommodate the requirement for lab that the AP biology folks in the College Board require. There'll be also a summer assignment, so if you do sign up, you'll want to see me about that by the end of the year. But for the most part, if you have any questions about the curriculum, you can come by and see me. There are basically 4 major concepts that are used to tie together the individual topics within AP biology. Though in one sense many things are covered from a world view, we will definitely be looking at this through a Christian worldview. There's another thing I wanted to bring up, that apparently in the past there's been a requirement, or at least understood that there's a requirement to have the anatomy and physiology prior to taking AP biology. That is no longer the situation or the case. As long as you've had a high B and A from either the honors chemistry or biology, then you would be able to meet the prerequisites for the AP biology. If you have any further questions, please come by and see me. I'm in room 532. I'd be glad to answer or address, clarify anything that you want to ask me about with the course. Thank you.
Hey, I'm Dr. Brian Mawazin. Do you like math? Have you ever wanted to maybe use the math that you've learned and to find out more about the physical universe? Have you ever wondered, hey, if I throw this ball up in the air, how long is it going to be up there? How fast do you got to spin a space station to simulate gravity on Earth? Well, I got good news for you. I think physics is the class for you. We'll also be offering Introduction to Engineering again. As you probably heard this year, our engineering team built a balsa wood bridge and placed very high in the University of Tennessee competition. In fact, our bridge didn't even break under 50 pounds of pressure added to it. Our class is a survey of many types of engineering, so if you're just interested in engineering overall and you want to know a little more about each type, this is the perfect class for you. Backed by popular demand will be AP Computer Science. Now, if you've heard about the previous computer science that was online, look, we're going to have a real teacher this time, so don't worry about that. If you're wanting to learn more about programming, we're going to be learning Java throughout the year. So hopefully I'll see you there.
Hey everybody, welcome to CAK Bible. We're going to tell you a little bit about our classes. So CAK Bible is about heartness. Heartness is about conversation. And if you think about it, really the Bible is just an ongoing conversation that God has with his people. And so that's what we do in Heartness as well. And to tell you first about what's going to happen in Freshman Bible is Miss Oaks.
Freshman Bible is a really fun class. We study the Old Testament. It is a dialogue education course where we will sit around in a round table, open the scriptures, figure out what is it exactly that God is saying to the people and then also to us, and how does that apply to our lives. We spend a lot of time studying the Torah and reading some of the original language, the Hebrew, and figuring out what some of those words mean, because through the years the translation has changed quite a bit, and just figuring out exactly what is God speaking to me through these fabulous old stories. And then Freshman Bible transitions very smoothly into Sophomore Bible, which is Mr. Tuggle.
Similar to 9th grade, 10th grade Bible is a dialogue-based course. We study the New Testament, but primarily we'll go from the period of time in between the Old and New Testament, known as the intertestamental period, going through Jesus' birth and the Gospels, and then we'll end up finishing the epistles. And the course goal, the scope of it all, is to explain how God's story of redemption unfolds, how he takes a specific group of people whom he calls righteous because they're his children, and now he expands that, and he opens up his family to adoption, and what that beautiful adoption looks like. And then through the epistles, talking about what it actually looks like day to day, how we can apply that same filial or familial relationship with God in our everyday lives. And so that transitions into our junior 11th grade Bible class with Mrs. Stanford.
Junior Bible is really a continuation and an application of what you've learned in freshman and sophomore classes. The year is really split up into 2 semesters. One of those semesters is a finance course, and the finance course, yes, is required by the state. But we are able to take that finance course and study finances through Scripture. The other semester, you take a capstone class. You probably all know that before you graduate, you're all required to do a capstone project. The easiest, simplest way to describe that is it's about like an Eagle Scout project, but it's not quite the same in intent. Our heart is that in your capstone project, you're really seeking to understand and to hear God's call for you, and that it ends up becoming kind of a a mini version of a life calling for you. The capstone project that you'll do will be developed. It will be decided, developed, and really hopefully implemented even in the context of the class. There will be many discussions about your project at the table. By the time you're done with the class, you should be already launched on that project. And lastly, we'd like you to hear what you're going to do in senior Bible class with Dr. Phillips.
So senior Bible is basically the culmination of everything you've done at CAK through Bible 9 through 11th grade already. We're still going to talk about the Old Testament and the New Testament. We're going to talk about your vocational calling. We'll probably talk about finances even. But what we'll do in senior Bible is we will kind of pull all these things together and really make this the sort of culminating experience before we send you out on that blessed day of graduation. So we'll talk about things like Christian ethics. We'll talk about Christian worldview. We'll talk about faith and reason. There's all sorts of areas that senior Bible covers, but really it's about bringing together your entire Bible experience at CAK.
Hey, I'm Coach Hawkins. I'm here to talk a little bit about wellness. Wellness is a required course. It's one that deals with the social, mental, and physical well-being of you as the student. We will deal a little bit in the classroom with those three areas. We will also go out and teach and learn individual, team, and dual sports.
Hi, I'm Mrs. Brock, and I'm going to tell you about some of the music classes that you can take here at the high school. The first one that I'll start with is choir. It's a 0-period class that meets at 7:30 in the morning, and it's open to absolutely anybody who's interested in choral music or in singing. A great way to kind of get your feet wet. The next one that I'll tell you about is musical theater, and it is also a 0-period class that meets in the spring. So a lot of times people will take choir and then transition into musical theater. Musical theater is an auditioned class and is an extracurricular class as well. So a lot more goes into that. Audition materials will be coming out next semester if you're interested in auditioning for musical theater. We also have Honors Spirit of Praise Ensemble. That as well is an auditioned class. Those auditions are going to be taking place in May. So be looking for audition materials coming out in the next couple of months. A couple of classes that don't count towards your arts credit, but are elective classes that you can take are our worship band class. If you're not a new student at CAK, you know all about our worship team. They lead in chapel. We have a whole class that is dedicated to that, where we talk about worship as a whole and, of course, practice the music that we help lead on Thursday mornings. So that's a great class to get involved with if you're interested in worship. And then the last class that I'm going to talk about today is our guitar class. There's a Guitar 1 and a Guitar 2, and those are both semester classes. So you can take it for a full year, or you can just take it for one semester. And that's a really laid-back, fun class that is a good break in your day if you have a lot of hard academic classes. It's one where you can just come, relax, learn to play guitar, learn to play some of the songs that you hear on the radio, or just songs that you like. Thanks for listening. Hope to see you next year.
Hello Warriors, my name is Danny Mullen. I'm the Director of Bands here at CAK. I just want to talk to you briefly about our course offerings for band at the high school. We have a year-long concert band with two different sections. The first section is a regular concert band. The second section is an honor band, but there are some additional requirements that go with that honors course. Students who participate in honor band have an obligation to pep band, which is in the fall and spring semesters. There is also an additional music theory component as part of that honors class. We also offer a music theory course, so for any students that have a love of music and desire to understand how it works, can register for the CP Music Theory course.
I'm Mrs. Moran, and I teach the yearbook class. During this class, you're going to put together the yearbook that's passed out like at the very beginning of the next year, where all the memories are put together and hopefully will be something that you'll keep forever. In the class, you're going to learn graphic design skills. You're going to learn how to use InDesign. You're going to learn editing, just a lot of the things that go together to make a book, and you're going to learn how to do that. Editing is very important. So knowing how to spell is a good trait, but also some kind of design feel. We're kind of like a business. We have clients to satisfy and make happy, so there's lots of checking and proofing, and to make sure that the book is an excellent book and something that you'll be proud of even maybe 40 years from now. Next year, we're going to limit it to 10 to 12 people so that we've got less time off the computer. And I'm also going to have you turn in a form checked off by one or two of your teachers as sort of a recommendation. If any of this sounds good and fun for you, you can come talk to me personally, or you can just sign up for yearbook. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Jacob Tate. I'm the editor of the yearbook this year. I've been in yearbook for 3 years, and it's a really great class to take. It's definitely not a loaf class. Like, you need to be prepared to work if you want to take it, and you have to work for your A.
Now I'm going to talk a little bit about the 3 art courses that you can take. The first one would be general art. Do not be afraid of this course. You don't have to be a great artist. Everybody has to take it unless you're in band or choir, because you have to have a fine arts credit to graduate. But it is effort-based, and we make it fun for you, so you'll like it. If you take general art, you may move on to honors art. And honors art, the projects are just a little bit bigger. We're a little more concentrating on the quality of your artwork, yet you do not also, if you enjoy art and you love art, even if you're not the greatest artist, you can still do honors art. There is a little bit of homework, a little bit of outside class just to make it the honors. But other than that, it's a nice way to spend a period. And again, just bigger, better projects and a little bit more independent work. If you have taken general art and honors and you want to move on to advanced placement, you may take that 1 or 2 years. That is really independent. You will be working on a portfolio. You get a theme, what we call a concentration, and you are going to spend the year working on 15 art pieces that go to your concentration. That may sound like not very many, but it actually, because we might spend a month on one project, it actually is very very time consuming. So there's some summer homework that gets you prepared. It is an AP course, you can get college credit, but the work involved is higher. However, if you love art, you are going to do great. So I encourage you to sign up for AP Art, 1 or 2 years.
Hi there, I'm Mrs. Johnson, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about our elective courses in the digital arts. First off is photography. Photography is an introductory course into how to use a camera. Maybe you got a DSLR for Christmas one year. Maybe you don't know what DSLR stands for, and that's all right. That's what this course is for. We'll take you through general usage of your camera. We'll learn how to use it, learn all about those weird buttons. We'll learn a little bit about post-processing with some Adobe software like Photoshop and Lightroom. And we'll learn a little bit about best practices when it comes to file organization. And to top it all off, we have a really killer field trip we take every year to downtown. So we'd love to have you there. Our next course is advanced photography. In that class, you will need to have taken photography. That is the prerequisite for that course. And we go a little bit further into how your camera works. We get a little deeper into the software we learned in the first course. We'll even learn a little bit more about some file organization by learning about Adobe Bridge. In addition to that, I'll teach you a little bit more about some careers offered in photography, and we'll learn a little bit about how to create a digital portfolio. Our last digital arts course offering is graphic design. This is a fun course for anyone interested in learning about digital arts. We'll learn about the diverse relationship between text and image in its many forms, whether that be through comic book study, advertising, or Instagram, and memes even. On top of that, I'd love to teach you guys a little bit more about the careers offered in the graphic design world, and of course we'll dive into a lot of really fun software programs like Illustrator, Photoshop, and maybe even some After Effects. I'd love to see you there.
Howdy, Mr. Sessoms here. I will be teaching Warrior Network class next year. Warrior Network is going to be broken up into 2 different classes, Warrior Network 1 and Warrior Network 2. In Warrior Network 1, we're going to be learning the ins and outs of broadcasting, whether you're working here in this studio or out there on the field broadcasting games, events, chapels. You'll also be learning all the gear we have available. This ranges from the cameras here in the studio, the cameras we use out in the field, audio equipment, the computers and editing in our studio. You'll also have the opportunity to work on your own shows here in the studio, as well as work on CAK Connect. Later on in the year of Warrior Network 1, we're going to be diving into what it takes to make a short film. So we'll be talking a little bit about filmmaking and documentary. Warrior Network 1 is a prerequisite for Warrior Network 2. In Warrior Network 2, we will continue to broadcast events and work on shows and stuff in the studio and out of the studio, but we'll also dive deeper into filmmaking itself. You'll not only have the opportunity to work on content for here in this class and for yourself, but you'll have the opportunity to work on content for CAK in its entirety. You can even work on videos like the one you're watching right now. This one, this video right here. You'll learn to make graphics like this or like this. So I hope to see you there next year, and if you're returning, we'll see you in Warrior Network 2.
Hey guys, it's Mrs. Kilburn from the School Counseling Office, and I am here today to talk to you guys about registration. So you should have an email with some attachments on it. I'm going to walk you through those documents and through the registration process so that you know how to select your courses for next year. So the first thing we're going to talk about is this. This is your 4-year plan. It looks like this. It's pretty different from last year. Last year there was an additional portion on the bottom that had some course requests, and we're going to do that a little differently this year. So I'm going to walk you through the first part, which is this 4-year plan. So the easiest way to know if you're on track for graduation requirements is to look at this left column. In parentheses, next to each subject, there's a number. That number is the amount of credits that you need to meet graduation requirements. So you'll see 4 next to Bible, 4 next to English, 3 next to social studies, 4 next to math, 3 next to science, 2 next to world languages. Those need to be in the same subject in 2 consecutive years in high school. And 1 next to visual performing arts, 1 next to wellness, a half next to PE. And then where it starts to get a little bit different is down here at the bottom with the elective credits. So if you're going for the regular diploma, the minimum number of credits required to graduate is 24, but for the honors diploma, it's going to be 26. And the difference there is in the elective credits. So that bottom row talks about the additional requirements for the honors diploma. So you'll see there that you need 2 additional electives for the honors diploma, 4 honors AP or dual enrollment courses, and a 3.5 or higher GPA. So those are the big differences with the honors diploma. Also no out-of-school suspensions for that. But that's what makes the difference between the 24 and the 26 credits that you see listed at the bottom. So then you can kind of map out your courses over here. You're going to use this course offering sheet to do that. So you're going to take a look at this course offering sheet and make sure that you fill in all 4 years. So even if, let's say you're a sophomore, you're still going to fill in freshman, junior, and senior year. Whatever year you're going into, you're going to fill in all the other years. The reason that we do that each year is so that you make sure that you're on track for those graduation requirements. It helps us to quickly see that. If you want to make sure that you have all the electives that you need, because sometimes electives are going to be in different rows, I'm going to show you a way to do that really easily. So first of all, do you guys know what an elective is? A lot of times there's some confusion about that. An elective is an extra credit of anything, pretty much. So it can't be like driver's ed. We don't offer driver's ed anymore. But like it has to be a class. So it could be like an art class. It could be a science class. It could be a history class. It could be a business or other elective course. But it's anything extra. So like if you need 3 sciences, but you've taken 4, that 4th science is an elective. So maybe you want to list it under the science category, under the row that says science. If so, what I would do is just circle it so that you can visually see that it's an elective and you know that it counts in that bottom row that says electives. So that kind of explains the difference between a regular class and elective. There's some things that are scheduled in here that are sort of picked out for you, and there's other things that you get to fill in on your own. So if you have questions or need help, don't hesitate to ask us for help with that. We're glad to. But and there's also an additional resource that will be helpful for you as you work through this. This is our program of studies. It's a bigger handbook that goes into more detail with the classes, with things like course descriptions and all of that. So that's attached to this email as well for you if you want to take a closer look at those courses. But you're going to fill out this whole page, and you're going to sign it, and your parents are going to sign it, and you're going to turn it into the school counseling office to us by March 15th. So that's when this form is due. It is a paper form. The other part of the registration process that I'm going to walk you through is online. So I'm going to show you what that looks like. So the bottom half of this form used to have course requests on it, but now the course requests are available electronically through RenWeb. So what you're going to do is you're going to log into your RenWeb account, and when you log in, under the student tab, you're going to go to course request. And so when I click course request, this page pops up. So this is new this year. You are going to be able to, under each category, and the categories match your form, your 4-year plan of studies here. Under each category, you're going to select the courses that you want to add on to your schedule for next year. Keep in mind there's 7 classes in a school day, so you can't have more than 7 classes each semester. But if you are taking semester classes, then you're going to have to select a fall and a spring version of those courses. And those are all designated on here for you, so you'll be able to see if they're fall and spring semester courses. Unless you're taking a 0 period. But remember that there's just a really limited number of courses that are offered 0 period, like art and sometimes choir and musical theater and a few other courses, but most courses are not offered 0 period. So just make sure that the course that you're interested in taking 0 period is offered in that time slot if you're interested in doing a 0 period next year. If you do a 0 period, you can select 8 courses for the school day. One of those could be a study hall. So you have 8 slots to fill in with courses and or study halls. Normally it's no more than 1 study hall in a school day. So if you have a unique situation where you feel like you need more than 1, maybe you're taking a 0 period, make sure to check with your school counselor before doing that. I don't think it'll even let you select that on here, but so it's usually 7 courses for a regular day or 8 with a 0 period added on. Once you're done with that, you're going to scroll down and click Save, and it will save your course requests for you. We talked a little bit about electives when we looked at this 4-year plan and talked about what an elective is. So a lot of the electives are sort of in the course offering sheet under specific categories, like social studies has several courses that might fall under electives, science even. But let's say there's a class that you just really want to take that's not on our course offering sheet. We would love for you to email us the name of like a course, like let's say I really want to take home ec, but it's not offered, or I would really like to take some sort of specific photography class, or something that's not on our course offering sheet currently. Email counseling@cakmail.org, and we'd love to hear the requests that you have for additional electives. And if there are a substantial number of requests for one elective, there's always the possibility that we could add on additional courses for next year. So be thinking about that as well. Make sure to fill in your 7 or 8 classes on here. Remember, 8 only if you're doing 0 period. Make sure to account for fall and spring, and make sure to see your school counselor if you have questions. Once you're confident that you have this completed accurately, you can click Save, and it will save for you, and that also needs to be done by March 15th. So if you have questions or need help, make sure to get that figured out before then. One other thing that's new this year, in addition to the online registration, is this form. It's the Honors and AP contract. So that should be attached to your email as well. This is a new procedure this year. So in the past, if you've taken an Honors or an AP course, you've needed a teacher's signature on that form. That's no longer the case this year. So this year, you're going to read through these paragraphs on the front page. This is what you're agreeing to if you sign up for an Honors and AP class. Know that the pace, the workload, and the level of expectations in general are going to be a lot higher for those courses. And make sure to read through the front page for an explanation of what to expect out of those courses. If you're good with that, and if you've met the prerequisites, you're going to list those courses that you're planning on taking on the Honors and AP level on the back page here for us. You're going to sign, and a parent will sign. So this is, you're going to need the prerequisite sheet to go with this. The prerequisite sheet tells you what grade or what course you would have needed to take in advance of signing up for the course, the Honors or AP course that you're interested in. So let's do an example. So let's say I'm interested in taking Honors Art. I see here that I need to have taken General Art. So I'm going to write, so if I have taken General Art, I'm going to write Honors Art down on this sheet and sign it saying that I've met the prerequisites and I understand the requirements of that class. But let's say I want to take a course that I haven't met the prerequisites for. So let's say I took, maybe I took pre-cal and I did really well. I made a high A in that class, but I would really like to do AP Calc, AB, for example. And my teacher says, yes, I feel like this would be a better placement for you, and you're sure that it would be a good fit, but you don't have that prerequisite requirement. In that case, what you're going to do is you're going to fill out this bottom part. This is if you haven't met the prerequisite for a course and you want to be considered for that course that you have not met the prerequisite for. If that's the case, then you're going to explain why you'd like to take the course and what you will do to ensure your success in that course. These responses are going to be given to the honors or AP teacher to review, and if there is space in the course, we will take your request into consideration and try to get you in that class if it would be a good fit for you. So we may talk about that beforehand and just kind of try to figure that out with you, but definitely don't hesitate to fill this out if you'd like to take a higher level course, and we'll look at that together. So this form needs to be filled out only once because there are several spots for all of the honors and AP classes that you might be considering. So even if you're taking multiple courses, you're just going to fill out one sheet and turn that into the school counseling office. If there are multiple courses that you have not met the prerequisite for, you'll need additional sheets for that because you need to do this for each course that you have not met the prerequisites for. And again, just be careful with that. So with the prerequisites, we recommend the prerequisites be met before you take an honors or AP course, because what we have found in the past is that students who have met the prerequisites have a greater likelihood of being successful in that course. So it's really to your advantage to have met the prerequisites. But we understand that there sometimes are exceptions to the general rules, and sometimes things change, and so we are open to conversations about that and glad to look at it closer with you if you feel like maybe there's an exception to that in your case. So make sure to fill that out and turn it in with your 4-year plan if you're taking any honors and AP courses. So hopefully that gave you sort of an overview of the registration process. Again, remember, if you have questions or need help, you've got your program of studies here to look at with course descriptions. You've got your prerequisite sheet, you've got your course offering sheet, but you also have school counselors, and we're glad to help. So Mrs. Stauffer has A through K of the alphabet, and I have L through Z. Bring your form in with you, and we're glad to sit down and look over it before you submit this online request if you have questions or need assistance with that. So thanks so much, guys. We look forward to walking through this process with you, and we hope you have a great day. Thanks.